this poem that I dedicate to anyone who is or ever has been in a long-distance relationship. And it's called Sprung.
Brown skin, you know I love your brown skin. I can tell where yours begin. I can tell mine. Brown skin, up against my brown skin. Need some every now and then. Oh yeah.
I am fiending for another taste of your brown skin. You see, I'm scheming for a chance to get up in between again so I could truly be Malcolm in the middle. Addiction may be bad, but this affliction I have for you may prove to be harmful, because I got an arm full of scars from pinching too hard just to make sure I'm awake. And this state of mind is too much to take. I'm so busy thinking of you when there's 1,400,320 other things I need to do, like I got all these people in the cabaret looking at me and I can't concentrate. Being in love is supposed to be so great, then how come I can't seem to do anything else with my day? I mean, I should be excited and energetic and have that look that a woman has making breakfast in the morning with her man's shirt on but she can't really cook. I should be motivated to take on the world, but instead I'd rather lay in bed with your images of your naked body floating through my head, let my toes curl and spirit rise. And shh, can you hear it? Cries of your name and your character's name when we role play. And damn, I'm in bed by myself and it's like you're 300,000 miles away. And as much as the player in me wants to stray, I can't, because frames of your fine ass dance in front of my face, sending me back to my new favorite place, under the covers. Where lovers like us bust through walls of insecurity, and lust is simply the foreplay that leads to the purity of love without fear. See, I exhaled deeply when you were here in my arms. I inhale kind of deep too when I'm laying there by myself trying to fill my lungs with memories of the essence of you. But the presence of you, well, that presents yet another dilemma as I enter your personal space. Which part do I kiss first? The curve of your calf or the smile on your face? Reflecting the love in my eyes, suggesting that the ripple of your nose is love that mirrors the furrow of my brow, which loves how that mole in your chin winks at the diamond in my tongue, which longs to lick your lips as they pucker toward my chuckle as we laugh how this love persists in this cyclical path over and 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 over. And over, 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 over again. And I can't even pretend that I can't comprehend standing across from you in this cipher all day like we did all night since the morning before. And to think, I swore that I would never become sprung like this. But if distance makes the heart grow fonder, then baby, I'm headed for infatuation. I'm wandering around, pondering the fascination of how your sweet, sticky kiss erects my pillar of passion that's ready to start blasting just at the very thought of your lips. By the way, your hips dip to the erratic pattern my heartstrings emit. I bet you wouldn't mind it a bit if I went psycho and got like Michael with the dick. I see you shaking your head, but I beat it like a smooth criminal. Like your name was Dirty Diana in the Shawn Michaels flick. You see, I go tick, tick, boom. Yeah, see, y'all didn't hear me. See, I go tick, tick, boom. Here's too much information, but in my bedroom, we go tick. As the sweet aroma of our love fills the room, yes, it starts in as a drift and turns into a monsoon. As heavenly angels, tears of joy fall down on us. You see, they know we need each other. They know you are my fixation, my concentration, my meditation, because if paradise does exist, then that's the destination for this relationship. Because I'm placing it at the top of my list. Secure it right underneath my third eye so I can always have a bird's eye view of the full picture of what we're trying to do. Because with you, I know I can make every day bliss. Because damn, I swore that I would never, ever become sprung like this.
Brown skin, you know I love your brown skin. Need some every now and then.
Woo. Malcolm. Lord have mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, Malcolm Jamal Warner. That one tore me up. That one tore me up. Not the poem, but the poem too, but just the fact that Malcolm is no longer with us. Like, I feel like Florida Evans. Damn, not Theo. Whew, yes, Theo. So, needless to say, I'm sure you can tell by the start of this show, tonight's program is dedicated to the incomparable Malcolm Jamal Warner. And I just wanted to show a piece of him that wasn't known as Theo. Malcolm was nasty. Malcolm was C.A.D before there was a C.A.D. So yeah, definitely check out his music. He was a Grammy Award winner, if you weren't aware of that. He was an activist. He stood for civil rights. He was more than just an actor. He was a director, a writer, a poet, a father, a son, a husband, as we all know. So much love to the family. We share in the hurt, but I do understand that our hurt does not compare to your pain. But we're here in the best way we can, which is just to help carry on his legacy. And with that being said, welcome to tonight's show of Coaching After Dark with Coach Kim and Friends.
Is that where the friends are supposed to come in? Hey, y'all.
And that's where the friends are supposed to come in. Hey, cousin.
Hey,
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Reese.
What's up, Reese? You okay?
No, I'm not okay, but I'm okay.
I know, Chauncey, you know Malcolm Jamal Warner. Not personally, but you know who he is.
Yes. Yes.
But as Chauncey said, as our group chat was carrying on this week, Chauncey said, I'm a thug. Because Reese and I were crying like the Cancerians that we are.
Yeah, and I never do that. Like, so this is the weirdest part. And now I feel a little bit better because I can rejoice in like watching the video and remembering like all of the facets of him. It's like whenever you lose someone close to you. I have, we lost a lot of people. My mom just called me a week ago and she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, what is it? And she's like, my boyfriend from the Whispers died. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know she's so upset. I had to leave the meeting and talk to her. When Frankie Beverly died last year, she was undone because we just went to the farewell show. And I'm like, we've lost people. I think if I go back in my Rolodex of memories, the last time I felt hurt was probably Gerald Levert. Like, I'm sad when we lose other people, but there's not always a connection to the person. I was undone on Monday. I don't know. It's like, that was the friend. That's like, remember Wendy used to say your friend in your head? He was like everybody's first boyfriend in their head, first friend, first this, first, your brother that's right there. And, you can look at your brother and be like, he was just like Theo. So it was just very, very personal to me,
So what I just heard is that y'all blame my being a thug on my Scorpio rising, Aries moon, and Capricorn sun. And the fact that I'm a cuss baby, I'm a Capricorn. That's what I heard.
Well, I mean, it's gonna take Auntie Isha to break all that down, but
Speaking of deaths, since I'm part of the entertainment segment, whatever, when I start back doing it, not only did we lose Malcolm Jamal Warner, there was, of course, Ozzy Osbourne for y'all fans out there. Y'all can have that. Hulk Hogan died earlier today, and now a Grammy-winning jazz musician, Chuck Leone, passed away. So
that's today.
Love on your people. Love on your people.
For sure.
Absolutely. And saying all of that, like just reflecting back and looking at, I've always been a big fan of Malcolm's work, but not the actual, the camera scene too, but behind the scenes, his poetry and things and his inspirational stuff. I loved going to his Instagram when I wanted to hear something positive.
Yes.
And he had that interview that he did 2 months ago. I don't know if you guys saw it, where he was saying that he realized when his grandfather passed that the grieving was for him and not for his grandfather, because there was such a look of peace when he saw his grandfather take his last breath. He says, they're gone, they're in peace, and you're grieving, but you're grieving for yourself because you miss them. So it's like,
when you look at stuff like that, it's like, was it predestined, preordained? Like, do people see something in themselves when it's their time that other people don't see? Like when you look back on things and you can put together a different timeline, things look differently.
That's true. We have, of course, I put everything I could find Malcolm Jamal Warner on Gen X TV. So I was watching one of the short films. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's on there, where Malcolm played a teenager that committed suicide. And in one of the clips of the movie, he's actually standing on a cliff of rocks about to jump in the ocean. And I broke down again, and I had to turn the movie off.
I was at a full circle moment.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah.
So my favorite, since you're putting things on Gen X TV, I don't know what the rules are, like what we could put on there. But the best 2 seasons of TV that I've ever watched together, The Resident season 3 and season 4.
Yes.
Was Morris Chestnut and Malcolm Jamal Warner, and I was together like, hey, I need to watch what's going on.
I love that show from day one. I was so hurt when Mina left. I remember that's the one and only time I DM'd Malcolm, because I was like, you gotta get Mina back. Y'all are just perfect on the show.
But yes, I had never seen so much fun, Black excellence on network TV at one time.
Yeah, that was a great show. But
I was also looking very forward to him stepping into the shoes of a James Earl Jones, and I've been mentioning that to like people that I'm very close with, and we're talking. And right now, Samuel L. Jackson is the voice of our everything. But Malcolm had that voice. He had that presence. He was next in line for that.
Absolutely, for sure. And I just want to talk real quick about my anger with Costa Rica. I mean, I was like legit mad, and I literally blamed Costa Rica for offing Malcolm. So I do apologize now that the story's starting to come out a little bit more. The story now is he was swimming with his daughter, and I think a surfer jumped in and saved his daughter or something, and then a lifeguard came and I don't know. Anyway, lifeguard and a surfer. Bottom line is the Costa Ricans that were there did try to save Malcolm, so they didn't murder him as I was plotting in my head.
The rip current is dangerous.
Chauncey, do you still have a conspiracy theory, or are we taking it at face value now?
I still have questions, but
let's hear them.
I also understand that his daughter is 8. No one knows what she looks like, because he purposefully, and I admire him for that, for keeping her off of social media.
Yes.
So no one really knew what happened until she was able to be interviewed or allowed to be spoken with, because all we knew was it was him and one other person. So my question was, okay, something don't sound right, because how do you know who told the story? Who else was there? Somebody else had to be there. And even though it says that he was there with his daughter, I still feel like there was somebody else there, like another adult, maybe, I don't know if it's his partner, his wife, whoever. But I also feel like they were traumatized to the point where you have to let these people collect themselves. And when you're dealing with a child, especially, you have to be extra sensitive in how you approach that child. And I commend the mother or whoever kept the press or whoever from her until she got herself together, or whoever, to get to the point to where we now know that they did jump in and help. They pulled her to safety, and that they did 45 minutes of CPR but couldn't get him back. I still feel like there's more to the story, so I'm just waiting to see what else comes out.
What else happened? So I was on vacation one time, and I was in Cancun, not Costa Rica. But we were literally at the main pool of whatever resort you're in, and it lasts. Like it's not just like this pool that's in our backyard. It's vast, and it goes down, and it curves around, and it's this and that. But there are people all over. A child, I know he was under 10, I don't know how old he was, but a child drowned in his pool while it was full of all of us. He drowned in the pool. And
Because
so
people thought he was playing.
Right, or they didn't notice because there's so many people. There's a walk-up bar like so far down. The mom actually said she had to go and do something in the room, but she left older daughters to watch him. And so Chauncey, I know we're always thinking like, man, what really happened? But I was there and I'm down the other side of the pool talking to my niece and we're talking, blah, blah, blah. Things are happening. They're like, somebody drowned. I'm like, what? Somebody drowned. And when I get out, my brother was actually talking to the mom. They were looking for this kid. He drowned in a pool full of people.
Oh,
so
wow.
I understand where accidents happen. Like, he's diving under, he's doing stuff. Nobody was thinking about that. And then his body filled up with water to the point where he didn't just automatically float. Somebody looked down and was like, what the heck is happening? And they pulled him up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've been in jail behind that. I'd have been in jail. Because how do you let a child drown in a pool full of people? I understand that your child is not my responsibility. I understand that you left the older siblings in charge of, but where were these older siblings? And how much older were these older siblings?
They were being teenagers. And when that dad came down,
that's the problem. That's a generational thing that we have to break. Let's stop having our older children raise our younger ones.
I can put my son in that. I never made him the babysitter. When I did, he was paid handsomely, or I asked.
Yeah, no. I just never did that. No, I didn't.
I would ask, hey, are you available? Can you watch him? Blah, blah, blah. But I never assumed, as was assumed about us, that you were the babysitter.
It wasn't assumed. It was required and demanded without question.
It was part of your life to live that you were.
All right.
That's how I inherited my younger brother when my parents passed away. It was expected. Mind you, I have 3 older brothers and a older cousin that my mom and dad raised as their son. But I am the one who inherited the younger brother.
They thought you were more responsible.
I think I was a teenager, had a car accident in my mother's car, driving her son to a dentist appointment. And guess what came out of that story is I wrecked her car. Not that I was driving the car on the way to do some real grown-up things, but then I had a car accident because I got distracted and turned the radio station at 17, 16.
Yeah. Well, hey, Auntie Isha.
Hey, Auntie.
Hey, y'all.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know where Sparkle's at to come help me get this background together.
We're not coming in the door.
No, that's bad. And he definitely can't help.
Well, Night Shifters, we are not doing a Who Sang It Best this episode because we used our Who Sang It Best time to do the video with Malcolm, and I must say, I appreciated it. And with that being said, CA is not here. He is off on a cruise, enjoying life, spending time with the family. So there's no CA's corner. So we kind of got a 2-for-1 with the Malcolm thing because it was a live band and he was doing his nasty poem. So it all worked out. It all works out.
Yes.
I did want to talk about just a little bit if anybody has any information, or if anybody ever thought to research, like, Reese and I, we were going through it this week, but why? We didn't know him, never met him, never spent any time with him. Why? And Reese, you talked about your mom and how devastated she was with Frankie Beverly and then her boyfriend from the Whispers. I don't know how Reese and I are going to take it when something happens to New Edition.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I need a whole week from work. Y'all I need a week because that's somebody dear to my heart, and I need to travel time because I'm gonna have to go somewhere.
I'm using all of my FMLA.
So why? Why do we grieve so hard over people we've never met? Anybody got any clues?
Not we. We is not in this.
I just said
nothing.
Not we.
Didn't feel it right here.
I was emotional. I was emotional, but I wasn't as emotional as Kim and Reese. What I will say is, I literally, as a child, and Gen Xers, hello, you can relate because you're a generation older than I am. However, I'm a millennial. I'm right there on the bridge of where Gen X ends and millennials start. So I'm a millennial. I'm
a hybrid.
I'm a hybrid. So for me to have literally watched this man grow up on TV, knowing that at the time I didn't realize that was the representation that we needed, and to see the actor, the activist, the anthropologist, the person that he became, he's a father. Like you said, he's a writer, he's a poet, he's a musician. He's a multi-hyphenate musician. Let's just put it that way, because he plays more than one instrument. And to see him grow up on TV, it does tug at your soul, because he started out on TV. He couldn't have been any more than, this was back in the 80s, he couldn't have been any more than 12, 13 at best.
Yeah.
And then to see the man that he became, and all these, look at what he's done in between The Cosby Show and The Resident and his music. Look at all of that. That's a catalog in and of itself. Without his music.
Yeah.
He's done movies.
And the fact that he actually won a Grammy.
Right. Yes. He won a Grammy for his poetry.
Yeah.
The man is amazing.
Yeah.
And it does tug at the soul, but I can't explain it to you guys, but the way I can see it and explain it to me is, it's heart-wrenching. I can't imagine what his family is going through, especially with 8-year-old daughter.
Right.
But I also don't know him personally, so I can't attach personal emotions to somebody that I had no personal connection with.
I think it's crazy, man. There's a lot of celebrities dropped this week, man.
Yeah.
Ozzy dead. Hulk Hogan dead.
The jazz musician. Yeah.
I had to call Vance because Vance is a huge WrestleMania fan. So we saw that in the car today, and I had to call him. So he was like, "Don't call that man while he at work."
Oh,
No shade, no tea, but Ozzy knew he was on his way out.
Yeah, Ozzy knew. Yeah, because that's why he said final tour.
The most recent Ozfest, he looked like he was two toes under.
Well,
Like,
he looked dead for the last 20 years.
But this was worse. This was worse. He was a skeleton.
Yeah.
The skin was
We've been I for the last day or so.
Yeah. You know, Kim, that's a very interesting question. And I hear exactly what Chauncey's saying, and it makes sense because you have been forced through the fire with this person. But we also come from a generation of TV where there was no streaming, there was no recording.
Mm-hmm.
You set aside Thursday night at 8:00 to watch Cosby Show. Like, it was an event. And I think to like Wednesday nights at 9:00, my mom and I had a standing appointment to watch The Facts of Life. And it was like a date. My brother fell asleep by then and we were talking, and it was like the catalyst to conversations of life. So you actually, during those times, invited these people into your home. And, you know, The Cosby Show was the first reflection of the families that I know you and I grew up in, right? Because we didn't grow up in the hood. We grew up with working class parents, and people would think that we were anomaly. Oh, your parents are together?
Right.
Yeah. You know, your mom does what? Your dad does what? You know, so they were the first depiction of what a normal life to us was. You know, even if they had a little bit more than us, because Dr. Lawyer is fancy. But we had family meetings. Our parents talked to us like your parents talked to them. So I could see where we have aligned values, and we grew up every week together for a very long time. So, and then like you said, we knew he was a Grammy Award winning artist. We knew that he did poetry and spoken word. So we looked past the child actor that people saw. And so you really start to, I would say, forge a bond. And I'm going back to my crazy girl Wendy. This is your friend in your head because you have these commonalities with this person, you know. And then he comes back in front of the camera, you know, as a full-fledged adult like us.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So it really
pulls it off. A lot of child actors don't pull it off, but he pulled it off.
It was fun because if you saw him at the club and he said, "Hey," you'd be like, "Hey." So, you know, there's a lot of places where you identify with this person.
I mean, I just want a hug if that were to happen. I just want a hug. That's it. A hug, a handshake. Let me buy you
on me for 45 minutes.
A hug. Let me buy you a drink. A handshake. You know, that's I'm cool.
I guess I was just so opposite when it came to and I know I'm always the one that jumps in being the opposite. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, but that's the job that you and I have each.
Yes, exactly. Because Cosby was so regular life for me. Like, I never understood the big deal about Bill Cosby because I had a daddy. So, like, people say he was American dad. No, I got a real daddy.
Right.
So, so for me, because that represented regular life, I wanted to watch stuff that didn't represent. I watch TV for drama. I watch TV for something that's entertaining, not something that that mimics my life. I watched the Cosby Show, but it was never as transformative or like this big deal to me as it was to so many people. I mean, I liked it. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as big of a deal to me as it was to some other people. And I know some people like Different World and all that was such a big deal to them. It just didn't do that much for me. And I was a cartoon baby too. So I'm an 80s. I'm so like, if anybody was my TV daddy, it was Optimus Prime. So like, that was my TV daddy.
Okay, I'll do it.
But is that real life though? Because both my parents worked in the mills and the plant.
What'd you say?
I said, is that real life though? Because both my parents worked in the mills.
Well, no, I'm saying real life and meaning a family. Yeah, and that's the other part of it. Cosby wasn't real life. Like, Cosby was way up above middle class. That's another part that I wasn't going to go into, but it was still TV.
Right.
And then somehow they had mixed churn. We ain't gonna go into that neither. But
poor Elvin. Poor Elvin. That's all I got to say is poor Elvin.
But I mean, and then on top of it, all the stuff that came out afterwards about Cosby that I feel like the Black community is just ignoring due to this fictitious idea of him. And that we're going to overlook all of this because they took a brand. They were a master, and that's what they're good at. They're good at making a brand. You don't know these people. You have no real idea of who these people are. It's a brand. They're really good at it. And that's why they make millions and millions of dollars at it. And that's how they keep you watching it, because they study what you like. They study what makes your heart jump. They study what makes you cry. They study what makes you love. They study what you hate. And they create a brand. You don't know. That's not a person. It's a brand.
But we can't bring TV's dad into the whole mix because the brand was protected until they were tired of protecting it. And the things that he did prior, like when any of us were born, right? So these things come out prior to when all of us were born, and the derelict that they put him out there to be is partially because they protected that.
Yeah, because he was a money maker.
Right.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
protected
And
their
then
brand.
it didn't become a thing until he did some things in the political arena that the people didn't appreciate, and now we're gonna put all this stuff out here.
There you go.
It
No,
was
I
all
think
good
I don't
until
think
it
they
wasn't.
protected him until he was no longer, the brand was no longer valuable. The brand, he wasn't anymore on Jello commercials. He was no longer on stand up. He was no longer on NBC at 8 o'clock at night. So the brand was no longer valuable. So they didn't need to protect him anymore. He was a rapist.
Because he challenged a political figure in this state, and his beliefs. This is where it all starting to leak out from. Because
So
he didn't go along to get along.
So because the devil does something good on Friday, he ain't the devil on Monday.
We would have never known he was the devil.
But yes, we would have, because at some point the devil gonna show itself.
Okay, so
The
here's
only
my
reason
take
they
on
found
all of this. He wasn't the devil. He was an imp. He wasn't the devil. He was an imp. So let me take it from the top, because I wasn't even gonna bring America's Dad into this. But
I
since
mean,
you
let's
went
talk
there,
about it.
Well, if I'm the one
since
that
you went
if I'm the one that took the poison and he raped me, he's the devil to me.
Let's talk
But
about
then
it.
if he
Okay, so-
raped you, you ain't had to wait 30 years to say he raped you.
Both history
If the
be wise
police
protecting
sent me
him,
out
though.
of the police station, yes, I did try to tell. Plenty of those girls tried to tell.
Let me tell you, Isha, I think that's a sensationalized view. I don't think they
I think
told.
African
When we
Americans
look
just
at
want to wipe it away.
generationally and the casting couch and the things, people know what consequences come with the actions and things that happen. And when the brand is popping and you think it can do something for you, I think there's a different outtake. There's a different take on it, because we can bring in other people like Matt Lauer. We can bring in other people where, as long as you think that you're going to get something for the something, there are some people who will compromise themselves. And I also think that, and I guess just watching from a local perspective, you should see the things that Bill Cosby came off of in this area, but never did you give $1 back to all that he contributed, or never did you reimburse his wife for all of these things that happened. Never.
So here's my 2 cents.
Okay, go ahead, Kim.
Here's my 2 cents.
Let's call it
The whole way that the entertainment industry works, and this is why I say he wasn't the devil, he was an imp. Because, and again, my views do not reflect those of the Coaching After Dark podcast, Coach Kim, KDOP Enterprises.
Gen X TV.
Or Gen X TV, correct. These are my personal opinions, and I have no foundational evidence. But like you were saying, if there's somebody that they know they can build, mold, and make money off of, and that's willing to compromise their morals and values and beliefs, the devil, which are the ones in charge, are the ones actually teach him. You think Cosby knew how to do all that stuff? Or did somebody in the industry teach him how to do it because they haven't getting away with it and they taught it to Cosby, just forming evidence and holding it for a time when they needed it? And not just Cosby, but all of the black ones. And then when they step out of line, and when they step out of line and get too big for their britches, or step away from the master too far, such as trying to buy your own network, trying to own your own music catalog. You're going above and beyond. Now you've stepped out of line. You have gone beyond the parameters that I have given you, so you need to be taught a lesson. Get back up here on this tree and let me lynch you. So that's my thought. That's how it goes. So that's why I say he wasn't imp, because he listened to the devil and he did his biddings, but he wasn't the devil himself. He learned it from the devil. And they're doing that with all of our black male stars, not just Cosby.
But do you
hear to answer your question about, I hear you, but I just want to finish my thought because I let all of y'all talk. The whole rapist scenario, I'm with Reese on that. You're gonna wait 30, 40 years to come out and say something when the man's 80-something years old. Why are you waiting so long? I appreciate I'm not saying anything against anybody that has been. Thank God I haven't. But all I'm saying is, at that particular point, if it was done, absolute retribution should have been paid. Some kind of cost should have been paid. But for all of the millions of white rapists that get off, you're gonna take this one old black man that can't do nothing anymore and lock him up? No,
he can't even see.
And that's my personal opinion.
I think at some point we probably should have a rape-informed specialist to come on and maybe talk. Someone who has a little bit more credibility in this subject, to talk about what happens to a rape victim.
Oh, we've had that.
And to talk about why sometimes women don't tell.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show.
Because I think sometimes because women don't listen. I think sometimes because women judge other women. I think sometimes we went straight to the male agenda. Men are playing this ruthless game with each other, and they're putting each other in their places, and they are playing these money games with each other, and they're playing chess, and they have these political games, and who's making the most money. We're talking about men playing with money.
Correct.
And then on the other hand, we're talking about a woman and her body.
But not just women.
Care anything about that. I don't care if Bill Cosby never got a TV station. I don't care about, but that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about women.
Yeah.
So let me pose this question.
I don't care if Bill Cosby never gets a TV station. I don't care if Bill Cosby ever made a building. I am talking about the hundreds of women that reported that this man did horrible, atrocious things to him. I'm talking about those little girls that were on set with him that probably didn't come out and tell truth about this monster. And because they made a brand and made him your daddy, your TV daddy, we're overlooking it. Well, again, I had a real daddy, So Bill Cosby ain't none of my daddy.
So you know I'm usually misinformed, right, or
looking at
underinformed. I never heard
think
about
you're
him and sexually assaulting any underage kids. This was like
Me
the
either. I haven't
big
heard that
drug.
either.
No, I said where there's smoke, there's fire. I said I'm concerned about them.
Now
What
I don't think
happened
that
on
when
that
there's
set?
smoke, there's fire, because I think in that arena, if
If
this
you're
is the
that sick,
audience,
you're sick.
if this is the audience he targeted, that was his target audience. But I want to move it away from him,
I don't
and I
know.
want to take it to Matt Lauer. So the
We can take it to
Matt
Matt Lauer, we can take it to Trump, we can take
But
it to
Matt Lauer,
Epstein,
it was
we can
said
take
that
it
when you
to
went
all
into
of
the
them.
room, when you went into the office, he locked the door. So Matt Lauer locked you in the office, and you don't want to go and tell. What is it that you don't want to
that's
go and
now.
tell? Because I don't give a shit about Matt Lauer or anybody else.
But
First of all,
that's
I might
you.
hit you in your nuts before we leave.
That's you. That's you. That's how you feel. That's your bravery. That's not what every woman believes. Because some women believe when they walk out that door, that brand, because Matt Lauer is not Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer is a brand. And with a brand comes a power. And where there is power, there is me losing all my power. And I believe when I walk out that door, there's going to be probably a set of women on the other side of that door that's going to call me a liar. That's going to tell me I wanted it. That's going to tell me, oh, do you see those skirts she wears to work every other Friday? She wanted it. She looks at him. Oh, she did this. Oh, she does that. I'm going to believe I'm going to lose my job if I kick Matt Lauer in his nuts. And guess what? Nobody cares about me like they care about Matt Lauer. That's why some women don't tell, because some women feel like they have no power in this male-driven world. And there are women who boost this up and make other women feel like shit.
So I'm going to say that that's not it. I don't think that's what Reese and I are saying in that part. We've had 2 shows at minimum, maybe 3, with Kenyatta the Advocate, and we've talked about that, why women don't tell and the consequences of rape.
They don't have any power.
And we've talked about all of that. But in this particular case, now I agree with what you're saying about the women and why they don't tell. But when it comes to Cosby, I just wanted to say, me again, I'm not overlooking anything. And when I said that comment about why wait so long to tell, okay, the times back then were different. But what I should have said, my correct thinking, what I was thinking is, why wait so long to prosecute is my thing. If they're just now coming out, statutes of limitations and everything's gone, that's my problem. Why did they prosecute this man so many years later? And everything
you're talking about the 70s. Do you know what type of women, where the rights for women were in the 70s? We had no rights. Your husband could rape you in the 70s.
You can't prosecute for that in the 2000s. You can't prosecute for it.
You know how hard it is to get a guilty rape charge in 2025? Can you imagine what it was in the 70s?
But because it happened then, and she lived through a different time, you can't wait 20 years and say, by the way, in 1982, you did this thing.
But what if he did do it?
If he did it in 1982, then you have until 1983 to tell somebody. You can't come here in 2003 and tell me somebody did something in the 20s. Because if that's the case,
because it goes away?
No. How many people then use a goddamn nigger with a hard R? Oh. And now we don't use it now because it's a new thing. I can't go back and say you discriminated against me when I was 6.
We put a Supreme Court justice on the up there who raped a woman. We got a president in the office that we know raped a 13-year-old girl. I think it's sick. I think it's sick, and I think men need to be held accountable. And I think women should stick together and stop these men. Men are predators. And we need to stop saying they're not predators. They're predators. Our girls are not safe.
Who's saying that? Nobody on this panel is saying that men are not predators.
I won't support a blanket statement like that. I won't support blanket men are predators.
Well, they are. I'll show you the numbers. They are.
I won't.
Not all men.
We have equal manipulation. I think that we can put the argument both ways. Yeah. Because just like we talk about men are predators, I'm waiting for a cougar to come after my son. So I mean, I know that.
Well, the numbers don't show that, but the numbers show that men rape
because
women.
they don't tell.
They don't tell.
They don't tell.
It's like how many cases of COVID you have if you don't take a COVID test. So they ain't saying nothing.
Oh my Lord.
And that was another thing that was covered when we had Kenyatta the Advocate on there. It was about men don't tell. That's supposed to be our next show with her. Is how men don't tell. They're the ones being abused.
There is an epidemic of men getting raped. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is an epidemic of underage boys that have been taken advantage of by older women.
Yes.
And men.
Okay. That's top on the list.
I mean, because look,
not really.
Look at Donnie McCarthy. He was molested by, I think it was a man and a woman, but it wasn't until like after he came out in the gospel music industry that he was able to share his story. Everybody always thought Donnie McCarthy was soft, and he has never physically or visibly been seen with anyone in a relationship. I still think he's soft, and soft not in a way that men think men are soft. Soft as in he's still trying to figure out who he is and be able to live in his truth and do his Jesus thing. But men, the little boys, they get it just like the women and the little girls. They're just not talking about it because they're not comfortable coming forward because they don't think anybody's going to believe them, and that's on both sides. I agree with all of you. Everything everybody has said has some valid points, absolutely. But at the end of the day, wrong is wrong. Yeah. He should have been put up under the jail years ago. And who's to say that these women did not come out and then they was forced to sign an NDA? And once that NDA expired, just like with the Cassie situation, I'm filing charges.
The one clear devil lady, she made it a point because she knew she ain't say nothing because she thought she was gonna be somebody. But I ain't gonna say the devil lady's name out in the public.
No, we're not gonna give her any clout. We're not gonna give her any press off of this.
But in the 80s, the devil lady was cool with it because the devil lady thought she about to be something. Then she ain't turned out to be something.
I'm always gonna be pro women. Go girls. Girls rule the world.
Girls. Oh God.
Girls,
They rule the world, but
girls,
some of them peppers ain't right. Let's just keep it 100.
That whole part.
We ain't killers. We ain't
Look,
killers.
I done did some shit that wasn't right, so we all ain't 100%.
But we ain't killers. We ain't gonna strangle you to death and kill all the children and walk off. We
No,
ain't killers.
but we can't argue the degrees of the man.
We just don't get caught. We just don't get caught.
Yeah, we just smart enough to be about it better. That's it.
We ain't killers.
Oh my word. Okay, look. Well, I guess we just gonna have to keep veering to the left because we pretty much.
We need to get man.
I mean,
it is now time for
special.
Reese's reading. What's Reese?
No, wait, Isha's reading or reading with Reese? We got a whole lot of
reading with Reese. Isha goes last. Yeah, because we don't spend the whole 36 minutes talking about something that's not even on the agenda.
Like a 5-minute thing turned into a let's say we got to call Kenyatta back. We got a whole lot of stuff happening. Okay. So what am I reading this week? So I know I've introduced a couple things to the group, but I went back to something that I love. So
did you want me to pull up that picture?
Yes, because I don't even remember the author of the book. Let me just okay, hold on. Is it Love Belvin?
Bear with us, night shifters.
Yes, like 30 seconds because we just went way off topic.
Way off.
I gotta bring up my app so I can see. Library. All right, so what am I reading right now? Okay, so my author this week is Love Belvin. Anyone that reads Black romance knows Love Belvin, and she has this innate ability to take people who are broken in some way, and she makes them so lovable and so redeemable that you can't help but fall in love with these people yourself. So I went back to reread a book that was actually, I don't know I think the release date, I don't know the release date. The Audible release date was 2025, so this book has been around for a minute. But it's called In Covenant with Ezra. So In Covenant with Ezra by Love Belvin is part of a 3-book series called Love Unaccounted. This is book 1. So if you like Audible books, the narration was good. The story is excellent. Love Belvin talks about Ezra, who is a minister, and he inherits his family's church. But of course, there's some broken things in Ezra, but he's a very redeemable character. And one thing you are 150% sure of is his walk and his commitment to his faith. Like, they are immovable. But he also wants a wife, and it's different than the path that his parents have chosen for him. So in in the first book of Love Unaccounted, In Covenant with Ezra, you get like an introduction to him, and he finds a woman that he says that he made a covenant with the Lord. This was his gift. He asked for this gift and the Lord delivered it. And then there is subsequently a book 2 in Love Unaccounted called In Love with Ezra. And then book 3 is called Bonded with Ezra. And this 3-book journey talks about Ezra having a covenant with the Lord and wanting a wife and making a covenant with her and their journey. But what I think is unique about this, because lots of people have written a love story, you go, oh, I've seen that before, but I appreciate how Love Belvin intertwines church culture, because in our culture as Black people, we have a church culture. So she actually addresses a lot about the church culture and the expectations, the dark side of those things that happens that some of us know, I don't want to go to church because of this or that. She addresses these things. She addresses the brokenness of Ezra, the brokenness of the wife that is sent by God for him specifically. But the most hilarious thing that I can tell you guys is that it's worth all of your time. So I listened to the first book because I'm like, oh, you can listen to audiobook while you work, you can do this. The second and third books are not yet audio. They're not on audio. So if you want to read the second and third book, you literally have to buy the book or go to Kindle and download it. I think I finished the first book at about 12:30 a.m. one night. And then I was like, oh my gosh, let me download the second book. There was no second book, but the first book ended in a way that you go, oh my gosh, I literally read from 12:30 to 3 o'clock in the morning, although I didn't finish, but I just had to get enough into book 2. So Love Unaccounted is the series by Love Belvin. And the first book is In Covenant with Ezra. You can find that where you get your audiobooks. And then the other 2, In Love with Ezra and Bonded with Ezra, are only in print, or you can download it on your Kindle.
Awesome.
That's what Chauncey is reading.
All right. Sounds interesting.
Very fun. Chauncey, I'm bringing yours up in the next week or 2. We're going to go to The Oath. And that's a trilogy also. So I'll send it to you and maybe we can talk about it together.
All right. So we were supposed to talk about segregation, but I think we've had enough heated conversations for today.
All right, let's save segregation to next week.
Yeah, let's save segregation. And we're going to keep it fun. So Isha, I thought about you when I chose this topic, and I'm still on screen for a reason because y'all know how long it takes me to get it together. So Isha, for those that don't know, loves her nasty girl music.
I do.
Like City Girls, right? And who else? Megan. And now I have to say, I love that new Cardi song, Outside. That's my new jam.
Yes.
Do the kids still say that jam? That's my jam.
But it's okay, Kim.
All right. So there's been a recent trend going around TikTok, and Isha also loves TikTok, so she's probably seen it.
Oh, that's
It is where RH moms are sharing with their kids the old school hoe rap.
Yeah,
So this segment is titled "The Generational Hoedown."
Uh-oh.
Whose hoes are the nastiest?
right.
So you got
No.
two girls and all of them. So I'm just gonna play this one for you. A
It's so
reaction
funny.
shot.
Yep, I seen this one.
Yeah. Yes.
She couldn't handle it. It was too much.
Very graphic.
She got me when she crossed her legs. That was hilarious. Oh my goodness. Okay, so these kids these days thought they invented something, right?
Right.
I don't know because I'm not too familiar. I know WAP. Y'all help me out. I don't know any others right now.
I rarely listen to that because I stick with my classics like Kim.
So what you saying, Kim? You said what?
So I was trying to say
Trina. That's a little old school.
Trina.
Yeah, that's
Right.
Trina.
So
So
if
that's
we
90s.
So if we take Trina, Lil Kim, who else from
Foxy
that
Brown.
era?
Foxy.
Foxy.
Yeah.
So if we take them and
Kaya,
put them up
my neck,
against
my back.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
you should have a good one.
Yeah.
Me being me, I'm
and
gonna
put
go
them up
for Millie
against
Jackson.
these girls
Yes,
today.
a Millie. Yes.
So today we have what? City Girls, Cardi, Megan,
Sweetie,
Sexy Red, all of them.
Sexy Red. Yeah.
My name is Dirty Red. Get it right.
Oh, okay, Dirty
Don't
Red.
you call for
Yes.
sexy?
Look, you know, I don't know.
Dirty. Just
What
dirty.
you saying? What you saying? Who the nastiest?
Yeah, like who sang it best? Who's the
Millie
biggest?
Jackson.
Don't.
Yeah,
know.
come on,
Yes,
Millie.
yes.
Millie Jackson.
Come through with Millie. Because my parents made me go to my room.
Yes. Let me tell you, ain't nothing nasty than them old black ladies back in the day.
Yes.
What? I'm about to pull up a Millie audio right now.
And the difference is they sang it.
Yes.
So they dragged out the words.
Yes. Chance, you probably know it's this old footage of this old black lady. She is, I mean, this is black and white, and she is like in a barn almost, and she stand up talking about, and I something a man did, and and then he, I'm like,
that wasn't Bessie Smith.
I don't know, but she was very graphic.
That sounds like a Bessie Smith joint.
Hello.
That sounds like a Bessie Smith joint right there.
So, baby, I don't know, but for me in these generations, if I had to put Lil' Kim up to Sexy Red, I say Lil' Kim paved the way for him.
Agreed. Yeah.
But Millie paved the way for Lil' Kim and them. So
yeah, we know that, but we're not counting the old time singers. We talking rap versus rap.
If I say the rap game, Lil' Kim and Trina. Trina did the South for me, and Lil' Kim West Coast. Yeah, they put the girls on the map.
But I think they put the girls on the map, but they also paved the way for the girls to be not just nasty girls, but boss chicks like Eve.
Yeah.
So they paved the way for that.
Yeah.
I can kind of feel like, and I'm not as well versed in the newer girls, but I think they're going all the way back down to the hoedown without the boss effect.
You mean the new girls?
Yeah, but I don't know.
No, the new girls still boss chicks.
They still boss chicks. I'm about it.
They boss.
If we're being honest, Cardi don't write her own raps.
Right, yeah.
Foxy didn't write hers. Jay wrote hers. Kim didn't write hers.
But can we go back to the battle that Cardi and Meg had, and Meg actually called Cardi out for having somebody else to write her raps? You don't remember that beef? You don't remember that beef? It was all over social media.
Yeah.
Meg ripped Cardi a whole new one.
But see, that's my thing. So Chauncey, you gonna have to fight this with somebody else. Cause see, I'm all about the brand, the marketing, putting the shit together in a box and making it pretty for me. I don't care nothing about all that stuff. So
But I do believe it was a PR stunt, but still.
But like the lyrics, like if you talk about it, you like what's the girl name? The girl she the old school rapper. She was on Love and Hip Hop.
Never.
Remy Ma, like those are real rappers. Yeah, those are real rappers.
Right.
Like I'm talking about Cardi and Sexy and like
they got it easy because they don't have to write their own rhymes.
Yeah, this ain't the same thing for me, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and I don't consider that. I guess it's called candy hip hop or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't consider that. I mean, how smart do you have to be to write about how to have sex? So, to me, that's not a lot of skill with writing those kind of raps.
No, you gotta have some
experience.
Yeah, you gotta have a skill set.
Yeah.
They're using AI.
Got to.
I don't want to take it away from them, but I think it's a different levels of it. I think it's a different level of like listening to MC Light and Remy Ma and all of them versus what I call pop rap, which is more like Cardi B and Sexy Red. But I think all of them in their own right are doing their thing.
Mm-hmm. And kudos for the women's empowerment. I'm never going to knock that. That they have embraced their sexuality and not afraid to flaunt it, whether you like it or not. But I do want to talk about for a hot minute before we move on to Auntie Isha's reading for the week. Cardi not minding being a role model for the little girls out in the world, but when it comes to her own girls, like they didn't even know she was Cardi B for a while. She hides that part from them. Well, she can't hide it anymore. But she was hiding that part. So her little girls, they weren't allowed to listen to her. They didn't know that was her. She had a whole different persona. She had on her mom versus Cardi, which I understand. But if you're gonna be like that for all these other little girls out here, let your little girl listen to it too.
Well, who was letting a 6-year-old listen to Cardi B? I mean, like, her children was little.
And so the ones on social, these mamas that have their girls out there twerking and they're only 5 years old, those mamas.
But see, that mama, that's her lack of parenting.
That's the mama's lack of parenting.
Because Cardi said, hey, when y'all get old enough and y'all see this, I'm answering these questions. But right now, I'm just your mama.
Right.
And that's it. I said it. That's what I said.
Yeah, see, I grew up in an era where, like, the music up front, they was listening to that music up front. And we was in the bike. And till you was old enough, you
listening to Michael Jackson.
Right. And then when you got a little old enough, you came up there and you listened to it. I mean, it wasn't no big deal.
Yeah.
Kim, I think that's a parenting issue because my son, I don't know if he's in earshot, but he'll still tell you, like, back in the day when we still bought CDs and we didn't do streaming, I remember he got old enough and I would buy the Luda CD and explicit for me, and I'd give him the Walmart version, but I refused to pay money for lyrics that I'm going to miss out on. But I would also listen and be like, don't listen to track 7, 6, 7, 9, and 11. And so most people be like, I ain't listening to you. My kid did not listen to track 7, 9, and 11 because I said it. Period. Yeah. You know, so, but yeah, I think that's a parenting issue, not a rap chick issue.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I just feel like the world is just like so judgmental. Like they be out here like wild and like
it's paying their bills.
Yeah, like your kid, like, oh, my child ain't never heard a cuss word. My child my baby, your baby is in that back room cussing on the PlayStation right now. He is cussing at some grown man with them headphones that live in his basement. On Call of Duty right now.
What?
On Discord.
My mama started feeding us alcohol at 16. So when they called you at 20 and said your kid drinking, she was like, I know. This one drinking, but this one might not be. Because she started feeding you these lines at 16.
You know how many times I embarrassed my mama? My mama said, oh no, Aisha wouldn't. And then I remember one time it was a fight at school. I fought at school. The people had me on video. My mama went up there, raised her hand. My daughter would never. Then people say, man, we have her on video.
Aisha Cheryl was so different. She said, oh, I know she did because I told her to. Oh, okay. I'm gonna tell y'all, 8th grade, the girl came to my house with 2 other girlfriends. Talking about they were gonna beat my ass. My mom said, we ain't going down like that. Which one? We can have this fight. And then she said, they come for you at school tomorrow. I want you to stuff this little girl in the locker, like put her in the locker. I believed in, if I didn't do what she told me, I was gonna get a worse whooping when I got home. When I tell you the teacher said she had her foot on this girl's abdomen and she was pushing her in this locker, my mom said, I know, because that's what I said.
That's what I told her.
I appreciate when they tell you don't listen in the back room that you're not supposed to listen. And I'm all about a twerk video. I'm all about the empowerment. I'm all about saying what you want. And this is why I know I was only blessed to be a boy mom, because there ain't no daughter that the world would have been ready for had I been her mom.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all about this balance, like being realistic with your children. Like I didn't try, like I came from my father was very like, my dad, I love him to death, and he is I'm a pastor, baby. And my dad had been saving souls, honey. Street pastor.
Always for PK.
Yes, Lord. And so my daddy didn't believe in, he called it the trash box. Turn that trash on. Everything was trash. So I didn't necessarily raise them that way, but I did raise them with balance. And make them I did make them understand that marketing is real, branding is real. Don't believe everything that come out that box. If it's in that box, it ain't real.
Right.
But I didn't shield them from everything. So yeah, there were times they was in my car and I was listening to 400 Degrees. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey. Let's go.
And on that note, were you done with that thought?
Yes, I was done with that thought.
That was perfect. Perfect.
And on that note, it is time for Auntie Isha's weekly reading, and then we're gonna go because we've already been on for over an hour. Time flies.
When you're having fun.
When the girls get the keys to the kingdom.
All right, hey y'all. Kim, you didn't do my little.
Yeah, I'm doing that now.
Oh, you doing it?
And now it's time for Auntie Isha's weekly reading.
Okay, can y'all see me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. All right. Hey y'all, it's Auntie Isha here for the weekly reading. So, first, let me tell y'all, when I pulled these cards, the first thing that popped in my head was, girl, get out your head. You have been in your head all week about the same problem. You have been letting it go on and on and on and on. You done thought about it this way. You done thought about it that way. You done put it on paper. You done recorded it. You done talked about your friend. You called your friend. You called your mama. You called your auntie. Girl, let that shit go. It is time to stop talking about it and stop thinking about it. It is keeping you up at night. Let it go. Just let it go. It is time for you to allow the manifestation to happen, because this is something that for some reason you feel like you don't think you deserve, but the universe says you deserve it. You don't think you're ready for it. You don't think for some reason, you don't think you have everything that it takes to receive it. You don't think it's the right time, but it is. It is your time. It is divine time. And so let this manifestation come through and accept what God has gotten ready to give you. And stop thinking about it. It is yours. It is yours.
About it, Auntie Isha.
It is yours. Stop it. And the more you keep thinking about it and going round and round in a hamster wheel, all you're doing is slowing it down and making yourself miserable. Let it go. God got it. If you weren't ready for it, he wouldn't have put it on your plate. And he wouldn't have prepared it for you and sent it your way. All right, that's it.
Love it.
Chauncey, I know you always have something to say after Auntie Isha's readings.
I got beef with Auntie Isha. I don't feel like that this particular reading was for me, but the last 2 weeks she kicked my behind.
All right, she can send me to carry the mantle for you because at 5:05 today, I sent the email that set off the shit Auntie Isha just sent.
Now see,
I put it out there, and I'm like, well, whatever happens, I'm just laying it out right now.
I appreciate you. Somebody
can't wait to get that update. Can't wait to get that update.
I'm either gonna be fired, or I'm gonna be paid, y'all. Something's gonna happen.
Something's gonna happen.
Hey. But it's like you get to the end and you go, you know, and people tell you, well, you really want to do that? I don't know, but I know I can't do this, so I got to do that. Right. And I've been struggling on it. I've been riding the fence for a long time, and literally, I could show you the email, but it was like 5:05, 5:10. I sent it today.
Wow, I say it's time, baby.
So Chauncey, it wasn't you.
It wasn't you. It was you today.
Listen, because I've been having dreams, and if Auntie Isha had come for me today, we was gonna have problems next week if I had any more dreams. Because I dreamed about my mama and my ex-wife. And I'm like, because I told you, ain't no spinning the block, right?
Yeah.
Right. But what you didn't know is I had already dreamed about my mama and my ex-wife in separate dreams the week before you did your last reading. And then last week you talked about somebody coming back from the past. Yep. And I was like, we don't spin the block over here. And then sure enough, I had a dream about my mama and my ex-wife in the same vision. And I'm like, well, one is gone, and one I don't want to have anything else to do with ever again in life if it doesn't involve the children. And I'm like, okay. So I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah.
I got beef with you, though.
Whatever it takes to get you to Jacksonville, because you got to come to Jacksonville to beat my ass. So if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes.
Hey, I'm gonna look up Red Eyes tonight.
We gotta do it, y'all. We should do it. I'm telling you, I'm pushing for August 22nd.
There you go.
If not, definitely dinner. I miss you guys so much.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll definitely hang out when you come that Friday. So for sure. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, night shifters, thank you for joining us. And R.I.P. Malcolm, Ozzy, Hulk too. I'm still trying to remember. Wasn't he a Trumper?
Yeah, that's what it was like, kind of.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I don't wish you, rest in peace or anything.
Hell or whatever. We don't know.
Your peace is your business.
That part. Believe in whatever it is you want to do.